the most special club in the bag is always a putter. And why I say this? Because at the end you can hit the ball beautiful from tee to green, and unfortunately if you don't make putts, the day is not going to be a good scoring day. You're going to come back saying to home, well, it was a shame. And it could be completely the opposite point. The starting point is greens are not a perfect surface. So for me, in my personal case, I have to recognize that the most important thing for me is to make the difference when I have hit a proper putt or not, and then if I have holed it or not. Because as I said, the surface is not perfect. Even in the greens that we play, we have so many weeks where we hit lovely putts and the surface is not perfect. And the other thing is, if you have been able to read the lines properly. That's the starting point. Then there are common things to practice. I have to say that we have a lot of nice drills that help us to improve the stroke automatically without thinking necessarily in how to swing the putt. You know, I've been spending so many years trying to make the perfect technique, the most ideal one, like the one like checkpoint. You know, like saying my eyes are on top of the ball, my hands are in the same angle of my forearm. You know, these kind of angles that they're supposed to be perfect. But I never get to the point where I said, ooh, I feel comfy and I'm going to hold that putt. And I really believe that's the most important thing, is that you see it. Because one of the best putters in the world, which is Steven Stricker, if you analyze him, hey, listen, it's impossible to copy him. The heel up, the hands that far away, so close to the ball, and it rolls the ball almost with kind of a fade, but the ball went in. And why is that? Because he hits the ball always in the same way. And that's the most important thing. So for that, I really believe, first of all, is that you are in front of the ball comfy. Obviously, there are things that they need to be changed. I've been working with Olazabal for a long time, you know, because, you know, Oli is a great putter. And I have to recognize that even when at the beginning I was feeling very uncomfy, I was watching how the ball, or at least the starting line, was the one that I like. So I said, okay, I feel uncomfortable right now, but I'm watching the ball starting what I want. Hey, if I feel uncomfortable but the ball went in, every day the same. So another thing that I would like to think is, I play with this insert, the micro hinge. It helps me a lot to roll the ball better, and that's something that we can see with the slow motion camera. In my case, it's very important to find out too the perfect loft. It will depend a little bit what kind of greens we play. We will need a little bit more of loft or less, because the imperfections. And a part of that, you know, I normally putt with the stations like we have today here, but more looking for a nice stroke than being focusing how to move the club. When I was doing the swing, don't trying to hit it, because that means that I'm going a little bit into it. Okay. That natural tendency is coming as a consequence of trying to control the starting line. You know, unconsciously, so many times we see people that is like watching the hole before almost hitting the ball and trying to hold the hand action to avoid miss the line. Yeah. And it's completely the opposite, because you are putting a spin into the ball, or side spin if you want to call it, in a way. So one of the things for me is trying to, with the tee pad right there, trying to don't touch it. Poop. It's helping me poop to hit.
Positive rise.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. I'm a big fan of very low loft, but I have found out lower is the loft, most time I hit off the line. Okay. So I get used to a putt with a little bit more of loft, but I see the ball starting line better too. Yeah. Then one of the things too is what kind of eye dominant we are, because some people, we see some people that they are always like watching the ball from the bottom, because they are more left eye dominant, and what they are looking for is to catch the ball from behind, and that normally is giving them the chance to aim more right, so they have to compensate and they start to hit pull to hold putts. So it's a little bit of, I really believe the putt is a lot of aiming, of being properly set up in front of the ball and aiming properly, and for that, you know, there are a lot of drills where basically put yourself in the middle of a short putt, completely straight, dead straight to the hole, and then put the club face first, and then your body parallel to the club face, and start to hit putts in that way, and you will, how you call it, re-educate the way that you are starting to see the pattern. Yeah. That's one of the things, and I notice it because unconsciously I was aiming every single time more left. So the right to left patterns I used to kind of hook because I was aiming there. I'm missing almost left, and the left to right, as I don't want to go through, I decelerate the putt and I miss it into the low side. So just putting myself in a proper place aiming, it was giving me already a chance to putt better, to throw the putt in the line that I want to start the ball, and not in the line of the hole. In the left to right, it's a little bit to the right and decelerate, and in the right to left, it's a little bit more up and drawing it.
It's my worst part of my game, putting. I'm just trying everything.
And why?
I've got a bladed putter, centre shaft at the minute, and what I found is with the normal sort of conventional grips and materials I used to use, just pushing them to the right got quite a lot, especially as I got closer to the hole. So anything from sort of there to say the ones that you should be making, I was pushing that to the right. So I've changed to that, and I seem to let the club go through.
Well, I completely understand your analysis, but obviously the beginning of it is not that good.
No.
Because you are describing like this distance are the one that you should make it.
Yeah.
So you are putting already an extra pressure on it.
Yeah.
So clearly, if you are pushing all of them, it's more related to the fact that you want to control or to see it than hitting it.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things that you should try to change from the beginning.
Short as well, quite a lot, and I very rarely go past the hole.
Again, because you don't release the putt in a natural way, correct? Yeah. But that's not related with the putt.
No.
That's not related with the way we think about the putt.
Right.
So clearly, obviously, some players, you can see it at the highest level, they are with the, how you call it, with the pencil grip, correct? But that is not going to stop to make you push if you are not thinking properly about it. Yeah. Because when you go through a rough stage of your putting career, missing right, you are going to find out another grip. And the solution is not going to be...
I've even changed to left-handed.
Yeah, I completely understand. No, completely understand.
You know, better with that, but I just thought it was a bit silly.
And no, it's not silly. I really believe there are people who putt very nicely with the left-handed or
reverse, left-handed.
Correct.
Keep it a lot.
Correct. But at the end, we are going to start in the same point. Once you don't have the confidence in that way, you will change the game. Yeah. And I don't really believe that's the solution. The solution is obviously, first of all, not thinking that you should make it under 5 meters. You shouldn't. Obviously, the probability tells you that it's more difficult. But the way that you roll the ball, obviously a face balance putter, you know what I mean, is going to help you to push more.
Yeah.
A toe balance, that will be one of the things that I will try to change.
Yeah.
If you are missing always right. The second advice that I can give you, putt only with the right hand. Because I'm pretty sure, and think about it, because I've been going through it. I'm not telling you this because I don't know what I'm talking about. I know what I'm talking about. You know, I've been all my career a player that I was able to putt very nicely only with the right hand, and then as soon as I put the left one, I start to feel that I extend a little bit the hand action, or I over release it. So clearly the problem was the left hand, but the real problem was that I felt myself stuck once I gripped the left hand. Okay, so the solution in that case was for a time to paddle it with the right one, to feel how I was able to release the club in the proper way, and the roll was pure. And then I did the left one with less pressure, and then is when I start to feel that the release was more based in the right hand than in the left one. Reducing the pressure of the left hand, the right one start to control a bit more, and I start to push it. I stop pushing automatically. So one of the things that I will really tell you is the pressure that you put on the grip, and then as a drill, try to paddle a little bit more with the right one. If you want to get out of the pencil grip, that I believe is a good grip, to be honest, around 2-3 meters. But then from there onwards, you have to really almost
struggle to get it there.
You have to really cock your wrist to be able to reach the hole. And that's not consistent. It's way more consistent in this way. Another thing is the angle. You know, I've been told all my life that in a good putting, the angle of the shaft should try to be as close as possible to the forearm
with your right hand.
Of my right hand, in both in general. You know, for that some people has to put the angle a little bit more in this way instead in this way or in the other way. You see Steven Stricker, and that's why I put that example. You see him, the heel is up, but the angle of the shaft and of the forearm match. They match, and that is what gives you the chance to move everything in one piece. Consistency again. Even when he faces the ball or draws the ball, if it's always the same, you are able to adjust to the lines. It's just a question of time.
Should have tried just the right hand putter.
I think so, yes. Feel comfy with it. Stance. That's the thing. And focusing what you feel when the right hand has hit the ball. That's the one. That's the only one that starts online.